Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I am going to answer one of the Java interview questions. That is, write a Java program to handle array index out of bounds exception. Let me answer. First of all, exception is nothing but a runtime error. When you write the code in a Java file, and if the compiler is not giving you any error, and when you run the same code, you're getting an error in the output. Okay. In that case, that error is known as runtime error, or you can also call it as an exception. There are different exceptions we get while running the Java programs. So one of such kind of runtime error or exception is nothing but array index out of bounds exception. Okay. So such kind of exception, how to handle by writing a Java program. Simple. In order to handle any exception in Java, the only way is to use try-catch blocks. Okay. So using the try-catch block, we can handle not only this exception, any other exception also in Java. And for handling, especially this array index out of bounds exception, we have to use this predefined class known as array index out of bounds exception class in the catch block of this try-catch block while handling this exception. So let me practically demonstrate writing a Java program to handle this array index out of bounds exception. First, I will show you when does this array index out of bounds exception occur. After that, I'll show you how to handle such kind of exception. Okay. For that, I'll switch to Eclipse IDE and create a new class. I'll just name this class as 1. With main method, I'll create. Okay. Inside the main method, I'm going to create an array, integer array AR is equal to new integer. I'll just specify the size of the array as 3. That means into this particular array, I can only store 3 elements. The size of the array is 3. So if I try to assign some values to this array, like AR of 0 is equal to 9, AR of 1 is equal to 5, AR of 2 is equal to 7. Here I assigned 3 elements to the array. And if I try to assign fourth element to this array, already the size of the array is 3. And if I try to assign 3 elements to the array, I'm not getting any compiler error. Even when I run the program also, I'll not get any error in the output. Okay. Even when I run this program, I'll not get any error in the output. You see, no error coming in the output. But when I try to store the fourth element into the array, whose size is only 3, in such cases, we will get an exception, an error. You'll not get any compiler error from Java saying that you cannot add fourth element into this array. But when you run this program in the output, you are going to get a runtime error or exception known as array index out of bounds exception, because the size of the array is 3, but you are trying to store fourth element into the array. That is the reason you are going to get an error at the line 12 in this program when you run. And the reason for that error, or the name of the exception that you get as a runtime error in the output, is array index out of bounds exception. And the reason is index 3 out of bounds for length 3. The size of the array is 3, and here you are using index 3 for storing fourth element into the array. Okay, which is not possible. It is indirectly stating. Okay, at the 12th line, we got an exception. What happens when you get such kind of error? The remaining statements, you see, at the line 12, you got an exception, means from line 13 onwards, nothing will be executed in this program, whether you print AR of 0, okay, system.out.println, AR of 1, all this code will not be executed, guys, okay? So when you run this code, when you get a particular exception at a particular line, the program execution will stop there at the same line, 12th line, and it will not continue with the remaining lines, because at the 12th line, we got an exception, that is array index out of bounds exception or runtime error. And because of which the remaining code in this remaining lines in this particular code will not be executed, guys, okay? Because of the exception, the program execution will abruptly stop at the 12th line and will not continue, and none of these elements got printed. So how to overcome this problem? In order to overcome this problem, we have to surround this, okay, code with try-catch blocks. Okay, we have to surround the code which is uh, going to provide a runtime error in try-catch block. I'll just provide this inside a try-catch block. Try. Here I'll say catch. And here I'll say, or we can do one thing. Instead of providing only one element, I'll just, provide all these elements. Okay, let's say You can also write like this, not a problem. Fourth line, you are getting an exception, right? So not a problem. So here, catch, here, array index out of bounds exception E. Like this, you have to write this predefined class. So what happens when you run this code is this 13th line now, when you are trying to store this particular fourth element into the array having the size 3, will throw an object of array index out of bounds exception. And if you have not used this try catch blocks for handling the exception, this object of this array index out of bounds exception will go through the JVM who is running the program, and because of which the program will stop abruptly while printing this exception details or runtime error details in the output. Okay, but what if you handle this, surround this particular code with try block, and you provide this array index out of bounds exception class in the catch block and with object reference, and import this from java.lang package. Okay, so somehow it is not happening. So let me save this. You don't have to import actually, but because it's coming, but it's not happening. Let me close and open once. Maybe it's some temporary glitch. Okay, so what's the problem here? Array index out of bounds exception. Everything looks good. Control Shift O. No, nothing is happening. Okay, if I give exception here, it's going off. And if I give array index out of bounds exception, there's a complete name of the exception, guys, and somehow it's not working. So hover the mouse, and if I import also, it's not happening, guys. Okay, there is some temporary glitch. Let me restart my Eclipse IDE. Sometimes it happens, guys. Okay, some temporary glitches. I don't think it should be a problem. Otherwise, if I am doing any mistake, we can find it out, or just restart the Eclipse IDE once. Okay, I think it should be resolved. Just wait for the Eclipse IDE to launch. This kind of situations will happen, guys. Okay, maybe when I'm recording this session, it's happening, but that's okay. Let's try to resolve in the same session where I'm getting this kind of problem. So it may take a while for this Eclipse IDE. The Eclipse IDE has been launched now after restarting, but still I can see this error coming, the cache block. Let's see. This is try block. This is catch block. Everything looks good. Some progress is going on. Let's wait. Still, it's not resolved. Import. It's not going away. Okay, so one main method, array, try block. What if I provide this here? Still, I'm getting an exception, right? So it's not about that line. But if I give any other class, it's working fine. If I write arithmetic exception here, what's happening? Let's see. Just for a while, just for experiment, arithmetic exception. Error is still coming for arithmetic exception. Import it. Import is not happening. There is some temporary problem, guys. Okay. So it is from which package? Java.lang. It's the Maven project, right? So we'll do one thing. Such kind of cases, right click on the project. Right click on the Maven project and go to Maven and simply say update project. Say OK. Let's see this way. Okay, building done. Arithmetic exception also, the exception is coming, but in another example, I have taken that right where. Just give me a second. Let me see. Here, when I write the same code, where is that? Sorry. I think it's 9, I guess. Okay, not this one. Here also exception is coming. Earlier it was not coming, guys. Now it's suddenly coming somehow. Why this exception is coming? 1 minute. Let me do some R&D and fix this. Okay, guys. I was able to resolve this problem. I just did something like this. Right click. So run as Maven clean. I did that. After that, again right click, and then Maven and update project I did, and the error is gone. Okay, somehow it's a temporary glitch, guys. It's not a real problem. You are writing properly. Here I have to write array index out of bounds exception. Okay, this problem should not come, but it has come suddenly for me while recording this video as an answer for this question. Okay, but I was able to resolve this because it's a Maven project. I have to build the project, clean the project and all. It is working fine. Okay, so fine. Okay, so here in this line 14, it will throw an object of array index out of bounds exception that I have written in the catch block. And this object reference of this class will capture that object of the exception that is thrown here. And here I'll simply write down it the normal print statement saying array index out of bounds exception got handled here. It got handled here. Okay, and remaining lines will get executed. Okay, run this code, right click, run as Java application. You see, the exception got handled and the remaining lines of code got executed, because of which this array elements got printed here, 957. Okay, so this is how we can handle an array index out of bounds exception by writing a Java program using try-catch block. In the catch block, we have to specify the object reference of this array index out of bounds exception predefined class. By doing that, we can handle this array index out of bounds exception in Java programs. So with practical demonstration, I answered this question for you. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye-bye.